And here we are, another Tuesday night paranormal chat on Lost Limbs Radio Foundation Network, whatever the heck it's called this
Something
week.
like that.
So yeah, like LLF Radio. There you go. That's the shorted version of it. So
There you go. Perfect. How's Robin?
so not too bad. Just kind of geared up, ready for another weekend, house building and doing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
give me something to do. So keep me busy. How's the
Busy.
for you guys that didn't know it, last week Mike wasn't able to be here because he was playing over in England. And,
Yeah.
doing England swings like a pendulum do or something over there. So
Hello. yeah. Spent some time over there. I got to see castles and all that good stuff. It was really cool. It was pretty awesome.
well, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So
Good time.
anything exciting happening there at Rhodes?
Just busy. As usual. Got the public investigation coming up. I think there's a couple tickets left for Saturday, so people can still buy those at roadshotels.com. And then we got the event that we're teaming up with the Asher Walton House just down the street. That's at the end of October, and people can buy tickets for that and investigate 2 locations in one night. So, what about you? What's going on at Ashmore besides a whole lot of building?
Yeah, just doing some building project out there, but it's it's booked every weekend, so we're pretty much like everything's solid right now. We're not really doing any events. The only event we really have going on with any type of celebrities whatsoever. We've got Chris and Mike from the Race Chasers coming out in November.
Cool.
We're gonna do a double header investigation that day. They decided they would try something I've been wanting to do and haven't been able to find anybody to try it. Is they're going to do a daytime investigation with guests, and then people can come in and do a nighttime if they want to, or so they can do both. So yeah, it'd be kind of fun to do something like that, daytime or nighttime. So that'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, because there's all kinds of activity during the day. Even the times I've been over there with you, like during the day, and we've had stuff going on.
Yep. So so it'll be kind of fun. And my theory was that there's a lot of people that probably like to investigate with those guys, but they don't want to do it till midnight, or 1 o'clock in the morning or something. So why not during the middle of the afternoon? They can come out and have a good time, investigate with them, and just have some fun. So that's what we're doing.
Get home and get in bed a decent hour, right?
So there you go. Yeah. You got to do this as your best Booth Brothers impersonation.
I tried it while I was gone, and I actually was told that it sounded more Australian. So,
You're a little more down under, huh?
Yeah, so I kind of gave up. Yeah. At least this time, because I went to South Korea with my sister. I don't know, it was like 10 years ago, I think, and the language barrier, I couldn't understand anything. You go in the store, they tell you how much it is, and just kind of pull money up and just like this. At least over there, I could understand people and kind of know what everybody was saying over there.
Although I was coaching hockey in Quebec City, Canada years ago, and I was up there, and I called to the phone and asked the person at the other end of the line. She said who it was and where they were at. And I'm like, "Do you speak English?" And she's like, "That was English, because in Quebec they all speak French." And she hung up the phone on me. Yeah. I guess I kind of pissed her off. So, but yeah, most of them up in Quebec, I don't know if they still do today. This has been many years ago. That I was up there, and they all spoke French. So, yeah, needless to say, the Yankees coming up that way, they didn't appreciate it when you start asking questions if that's English or not. But, oh well.
Yeah, I gave up the accent thing over there like day one when I was told that I sounded Australian. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to attempt the British accent.
Patsy said you're frozen. I'm not sure who's frozen, but you haven't been frozen at this end. I think it's just her and her, probably at her house. Pay the Wi-Fi bill, Patsy.
Yeah, maybe she's frozen.
Yeah, tell Crystal to get off the computer and quit working. She's probably
Yeah.
asleep by now, though. So.
Yeah, I think they've been painting the house. So yeah, they've been busy.
Yeah, that's true. I think your mom told me they were gonna have hire somebody to do it. Just so
No, they're doing it. Yeah, they're doing it.
Who's gonna do the entryway?
That's a good question. Probably going to be hiring somebody to do that.
Yeah.
They need like Stretch Armstrong.
So thanks, Jamie. She said we're not frozen, so Patsy's just your problem. Maybe it's just your eyesight. Either turn your hearing aid up a little louder, or put your glasses on.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep. So you're moving along at Ashmore with the house, aren't you?
Yeah, ready to put trusses on, and
that's awesome.
So I'm going to try to maybe start some of that this weekend. But those trusses are 39 feet long, so it'll be a little endeavor to get them up there. So, but I've been someplace or another. I have my drawing. I don't know what I did with it now, but it's around here somewhere. Yep, that's kind of what it looks like. That I'm working on a scheme to get my trusses up there. I've got an idea in mind, so we'll see how it's going to work. I don't know.
Yeah, hope it works
out. It may work, it may not. Yeah, if it doesn't work, I got $12,000 worth of trusses sitting on the ground. I got to do something with.
It'll work. It'll work, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But well, let's before they start falling asleep over there or something, why don't we bring those guys in here and we can let them harass everybody.
It sounds good.
Alrighty, I'll let you introduce them.
Lee, Jennifer, what's up?
Hey guys.
And there's Mike's
How's that for introduction? How's that introduction?
Perfect.
So, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. How about you?
I'm awake so far. So
it's two of us.
Usually, if I nod off, I just kind of just remove myself and the remove button lit up on my screen so I can get out there.
Technical errors, and when it comes back on, you're like this.
I don't know what Robin would do, but
Robin's probably got like one of those pictures, like you see those like online when people have the classes and they put like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's doing this like that picture.
I got one at least.
Yeah.
You never know where that's going to pop up. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it popped up a few times. It originated at Rhodes Hotel.
Yeah.
It's been to Michigan, and it's been I forget where else it's been, but it's been around
it's been with Bigfoot. It's been all over.
Yeah, the problem with Bigfoot, they couldn't tell the difference. They didn't know. They're like, man,
you were a little less blurry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how's things in Kentucky?
It's been stormy lately. Everything's wet and hot, and I'm ready for fall.
142% humidity.
Oh yeah.
That's
crazy.
usually what we are in Illinois. I was surprised over the weekend. It was like 35 or 40%, and it's like, wow, it's great work. It's not bad at all.
We're going to be in Maine in a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to that weather.
Oh yeah,
that'll be nice.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
It's crazy because like I left here and it was pretty hot. It was warm and everything, and then I got over to England. It was like 60, 65 degrees every day. And I was like, oh, this is nice. Now my sinuses are all screwed up because I came back and it's like all heat and humidity and everything. I'm like, man.
Oh, that's a good tempo there, though. A lot of places don't have air, right? They have air conditioning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Got to open the windows up.
I love going to the Stanley Hotel, but I don't like going to it in the summertime because they don't have any AC. But she don't like going to it in the wintertime because the heat's not all that. Well, the heat on the lower floors isn't all that.
Yeah, you guys were just out there like
beginning of back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's we work with the town of Estes Park and help them with their Estes Park Bigfoot Days Festival. We take some of our clients and stuff out there. It's a really good time. I love the town. We're hoping to get back out there to do something at the Stanley eventually. They cut out all the paranormal events and stuff, trying to focus on the horror. And Hopefully one day they'll open it back up. I think we were the last ones to do an event there. But man, it's one of my most favorite places. I'm not saying haunted because everybody knows where my most favorite haunted place is. Looking at you, Robin. But Waverly, the Stanley is definitely one of my favorite places, and just the town of Estes Park in general. I really love it.
Yeah, it's nice out there. I was lucky enough to be out there before they shut everything down at the Stanley, and I love it. Yeah. It's so nice. Yeah, it's great.
Was the Elk running pretty free when you guys were out there?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, you would get within just a few feet of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. We had some of the mountain monster guys out there, and Wild Bill. He came up on his name honestly because he was walking right at one. I was like, son, you're getting ready to get kicked. He was like, it's a big old bull right there, and I'm like, yeah, get ready to wreak some havoc on you.
I'm going to give a disclaimer. We have basically a kennel here at our house, so at any given moment, our dogs can go crazy.
She's not talking about me, the other dog.
The other one?
The other
four-legged one?
Yeah, the four-legged one.
You said you're going to be out in Maine. What's going on out in Maine? You got an event going on?
Just vacation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A real vacation.
Trying to get
we don't let the dog out.
Yeah, trying to get Mason out before football starts up. He's going to be going full speed. He'll be a junior this year. New head coach. The coach came in from college, and so he's gonna have a different high school experience coming up now.
That'll be interesting then.
Oh yeah.
He's a college coach to coach high school.
Yep. He came from college, and this is his first year back in high school after a few years head coaching college team, and it's a different level for him. So we're gonna let him go up and eat some lobster and hang out on the nice cool beach up there for a little while.
There you go.
That'll be nice. That'll be a nice little break. Sure.
Now, I think there's probably a lot of people that really don't know you guys because you're more behind the scenes than you are out in front of things. So kind of let some people know what you guys actually do.
I mean, we've been at the whole game for a long time. We kind of started off as investigators and still do a lot of investigating. But then we kind of got on the entertainment side of it. Yeah, the event and entertainment side of it. And, we host events all over the country, and then that turned into kind of talent representation. So, we have an amazing client list that we book into locations and events, and it's almost every weekend at this point. I mean, it's been really, really, really busy with us. So yeah, we've been very fortunate, and that allows us to go around and see cool places and meet cool people. So, it's totally worth it.
Did you guys I don't think we ever talked about this in the past, but I mean, did you guys have an experience, or what was it that got you into investigating anyway?
I grew up in a really, really haunted place. And actually I was terrified of the stuff. I wanted nothing to do with it for a long time. And her and I came out after we got together. There was another experience at the house that I had just bought.
I've always been weird.
Yeah, she's always been weird. I've just looked weird, but this thing happened in our house where I saw a little girl and she smacked my arm, and I was like, I don't know if I was asleep or not, but I'm pretty sure that I wasn't. It was one of those things because I woke up and saw it, and then she said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't want to talk about it." And after that, I started getting into it and started thinking, I'm an adult now. What is this stuff? What is going on with it? And about that time, Jason and Grant come out with Ghost Hunters, and luckily I've become buddies with those guys now, and it's kind of weird, whenever I started watching them on TV, I was just getting into it, myself, and now we booked Jason and the rest of the gang into some events, and I don't know, it just kind of transformed and kind of came full circle with a lot of stuff. But yeah, I grew up in a haunted house. I mean, that's all it boiled down to, that I was super scared of. And, I'd still like to get in that house and investigate, but the owners want nothing to do with it at all. I mean, we've attempted, and they don't want anything to do with it.
I can understand that. A lot of people don't like to investigate in their house because they're afraid you're going to stir something else up or walk in and say, yeah, we found all this kind of stuff, and walk out. And they're like, great, now we're living with this stuff.
Oh, it was crazy, man. The stuff that I experienced is the kind of stuff that you would see on a movie. I mean, it was, my brother getting thrown around. I mean, it was crazy stuff. Like, I was legit scared. It was a huge house, and my brother and I wouldn't sleep in a separate room because we were afraid. I mean, and we slept in there with a nightlight, and I don't know, man. I think I would have trouble like staying there by myself today. If I was allowed to come there to that house and stay by myself, I'm not so sure I would.
That's why I was just getting ready to ask you.
Yeah.
Have the new people that live there, do they have any problems like that at all?
Man, they won't even talk to us. No, they came in from California, and it was an old farmhouse. We had a huge farm, dairy and everything, and they kind of made it into a horse farm. And they were from California when they bought it, and they were kind of weird, coming into the place anyway. But they've never had any interest. I can remember putting like business cards and stuff in their mailbox, to try to, kind of bait them into giving me a call saying, hey, I grew up here. I'd like to know if you guys are having any experiences or anything. And I've never heard anything from them. We filmed a TV show called Hometown Horror. I kind of forgot about that, but it was about the town of Perryville, Kentucky. That's where I'm from, which is famous for the Perryville battlefield. So the production company came in and they talked to me and my sister about, how we grew up and whatnot. And I think they even reached out to the new homeowners and they didn't want anything to do with it. So, it kind of makes you think a little bit, I guess, but, I just don't know. I don't know how they feel about it. So they've never been open to discussions with me at all.
Right.
I've got like a few issues with the roof and stuff here at Rhodes Hotel. And I called the company that did the work, and they called me back this morning. And I talked to the lady and was trying to figure out if everything was still under warranty for them to come in and look at it. And she's just like, what's the address? I told her the address, and she's like, oh, Rhodes Hotel. I said, yeah. And she's like, yeah. She's like, we don't have the same group that actually did the roof work, before. She's like, which is probably good because they probably hesitate on coming out. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, yeah. She's like, they had some weird stuff happen. And then she's like, I'll get a new group to come out and look at it, and, we'll see what we can do. And I was like, well, don't tell the new group. I don't want them to hesitate and, be like, oh, well, we don't want to go out there and mess with it.
Oh man, I love Rhodes. I mean, I can't wait to come back up and actually do an investigation. I've come up and hung out with you and just kind of looked around, and I love it. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, you guys need to come up for sure.
Yeah, I had the same issue at Ashmore when I first bought it 8 years ago. Is I needed an electrician to come out and just, the pole was down out there, so you can't put the pole up and ran the wire up there. And I just told him, I said, just run it in the bottom into the lower level there, and just, I just wanted it tied together and everything. I'll run all the wire from there. And they're like, okay, so it'll probably take us like 2 hours. They were there 45 minutes because they had to hook it up in the room right next to the boiler room. You know where that is.
Yeah.
And there's no power in the building, so it's pitch black basically in there because the windows were all boarded up. So they're down there with, might as well just been night, and they had a couple flashlights trying to run these wires and making their joint butt connections and all. And they just like, yeah, we're done. I'm like, I thought it would take 2 hours.
They were literally running.
We're done. See, bye.
Right.
So I had to call them back because we're building a house out there and doing some stuff, and they told the guy about it and asked him if he'd come out. I said, yeah, we'll come out and work on some stuff out there for you. I'm like, okay. I said, it looks a little different now than before, so it's more like daylight in there. And I said, I'll even dig some stuff out and run some stuff for you, so you don't have to worry about the guys don't get scared. But yeah, some of them are a little nervous when they come in out there to do something.
Probably had like a lookout guy. You could see the one up there like this, like doing work. And then there's the other guy back behind him going, like looking around, like, oh, I'll let you know.
That's probably why I had to go in and fix what they did, because they didn't tighten it up tight enough, and I ended up with arcing in there, and I lost half my power one night. And somebody had a thermal camera out there. It was actually during a kid's day, and they had a thermal camera, and the box was really hot. You could see that the heat source there. So I shut the power out of everything down in the building. Went in and like, yeah, here's the problem. We got this wire's arcing, and so I fixed it myself and got it done. But fortunately, I can do it.
That's funny. I don't know. I was up, I guess, on the second floor, right, where the studio is, or where the seating is. That's the second floor, right?
Yeah.
So the very first time we were out there, I was up there by myself, and I don't think I had any of the major experiences yet, because I was kind of packing up the PA system. It was brand new PA system. I had just bought it, and I'm very anal anyway, so. I was wiping off the cables for the mic, getting all the dust and stuff off of them and rolling them up. So I had these big fancy mics, and I remember setting it up. You had some scaffolding up there, and I was so careful that I set the microphone like between the boards on the scaffolding so that it wouldn't roll off. And I turned back around, and I was rolling up more cable. And as I was turned around doing that, wiping off the mic cable, I heard boom, boom, boom. I turned around, and the microphone had flown off of the scaffolding, like halfway across the room, put a big dent in it. And I was like, that was my first experience, like legit experience at Ashmore. And I remember hollering for her, telling her to come up there and hang out while I was finishing cleaning everything up. I was like, I don't want to be up here by myself. And then, of course, that night is when I got a little shook up with Nick. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, is what I experienced there on that. I guess that was on the third floor.
Third floor, right.
I saw the figure come out, and the 15 people behind me all saw it, and on camera and in front of us, man, it was wild. And the mannerisms of it kind of scooting out of the hall into the hallway and looking, and then turning around and looking again, and then walking back into the room. I've never seen something like it. I mean, it was legit. So, and Nick says I cried. I didn't really cry. What it was like I was so focused on this thing that I didn't want to blink. I couldn't believe if you don't blink for a while, your eyes get a little watery. And
Surely.
Mike. No. I got a story about Mike too. So, I didn't want to blink, and I was like, sitting there looking at it because I couldn't believe I was getting this on camera. Well, then my eyes got a little watery. So that's the story. Nick's going to tell people I cried, and I didn't cry. That's ridiculous. I'm too manly.
I don't see Jennifer sticking up for you.
Yeah.
She never does. I'm used to it.
I speak the truth.
Of course, we could talk about Jennifer, and we could talk about Jennifer and the bat.
Yeah, exactly. Laying face down on the concrete.
Legitimate
her and
fears.
Her and Jeff.
Yeah,
that's gonna give me some rabies. I can hear Jeff.
We got that on camera. We got it on video somewhere. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Yep, it's on that episode you guys did there.
Yeah. But no, okay, Mike. So you want to make fun of me? Pitch dark.
I wasn't making fun of you.
No, you were too. Pitch dark, Missouri, or what was it? Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
Yeah.
We're in solitary confinement. Pitch dark. All right.
Look, he's already turning red. He's already
give us
turning red.
a sign you're there. All of a sudden, I heard something shut, and I hear Lee. So Mike decides to get locked into one of the solitary confinement cells and couldn't find his way out.
Actually, that was crazy because, like, what happened is, like, one of the tour guides went in there with me, and, like, my phone, I used the flashlight on the backside of the phone, and I don't even know if I ever told you guys that, but what happened is they went in there with me, we sit down, and they're like, oh, I'm going to check on the group, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to sit here for a few minutes, and then you guys come in with the group. I honestly, if I felt someone do this to my arm, and I was like, wait, there's nobody else in here. So I grabbed my phone, which is sitting in my lap, try to use the flashlight to verify because I know there's nobody here, wouldn't come on. And then, of course, you guys are in there, and I'm like, man, I'm feeling really uncomfortable.
It was pitch black. It was just dead quiet in here. Lee.
Yeah. Yep. You guys come get me out of here. Yeah, I remember that well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was a cool place. I love all the old prisons, Eastern State and Mansfield and Missouri State's a really good one. Yeah. But the Brushy Mountain was a cool place for sure.
I always wanted to go to Eastern State.
I haven't been down to Brushy Mountain, but I've been to the other ones in Missouri and Michigan and around Ohio and then up to West Virginia. So,
yeah, that's a
those.
place we've not been yet. Is West
Yeah.
Virginia. I would like to. I would like to see it. It looks pretty cool. One of my favorite places was Pennhurst. Man, I love that place. That was really cool. And it's haunted, man. It's one of those places that I don't like walking around by myself at night. I guess that and Ashmore are probably two of the only ones that I really had that kind of, a little anxiety about being somewhere by yourself. And I mean, it's legit. And as long as I've been doing this and the crazy places I've been, I mean, those are two of them that I just wasn't, I get a little scared. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not going to try to act overly tough to try to detour something because I want the experience. I like those experiences. They're good stories and it's just fun to tell people about them and especially fun. And that's one reason, when we got into the tour, I know this stuff's real. And so it was kind of fun to watch other people have their first time experiences. And that's one of the things I'll do, when I'm kind of talking to the groups prior to investigations. I was like, how many people are skeptics? And there's always a couple, in the groups. And I can remember specifically one guy in Virginia City, and we were going to the Mackey Mansion, and he was just completely skeptic. And he was in there kind of, I don't want to say provoking, but maybe antagonizing just a little bit. And man, he come out with the awfulest scratches across his side and back you've ever seen. And he was like, this stuff's real. I'm done. And he left. And, that's a weekend event. And he spent 45 minutes and was gone. That place is cool. We're going back out there in July. Yeah. And so I'm excited about going back out there. It's a great place.
What was with the tricycle at Ashmore? That was one time I wasn't there, and I saw that.
I've still got it on video. I like to have fun during the investigations, and I think that kind of triggers some activity. When people are happy and laughing, it's just energy. And so, and everybody knows I love to pick at Nick a little bit. And so we had the group in there, and I was like, here's the tricycle. I said, I'd love it if it moved. I was like, here in a little bit before we switch groups, Nick's going to ride it around. And everybody kind of chuckled a little bit. And as I said that, I just kind of put the light on it and video on it. And all of a sudden it starts rolling backwards. And, that's solid concrete up there. That stuff, it's not going to, if somebody's walking around it, it's not going to move it. And, Nick is standing right behind it. And he was like, did that just move? And I was like, holy shit, it did. And what was really funny about that is I posted it online. Well, it went viral in the UK. Like I was doing like phone interviews and all kinds of crazy stuff over in the UK about the tricycle rolling in Ashmore. So, I thought that was really cool. But it did, man. Ashmore is legit. Now, anybody that's watching or anybody that sees this, if you get the opportunity, I mean, it's absolutely legit. It's one of my most favorite places to investigate for sure. And Robin, you've done such a good job with it. It's just beautiful now on top of everything else. So.
Oh, thanks.
God, how much money are you paying them for this, Robin?
Not as much as you paid to do roads. No, one thing, and in fact, I really haven't talked to you, but I had somebody probably a year or so ago. The room where we had the people the guests, where the microphone had an issue. Mm-hmm. The guy had the tricycle sitting in that room, and he had it in the middle of the floor in that room. And he came back the next morning, and it was against the wall.
Huh.
And he kind of hold me. He's like, can you see if that got moved? So I went to my cameras, and I pulled up all the cameras. I said, here's the camera. I said, I can see when you put it there, and then I could see the next day when you came back upstairs. But I can't see anything between when you put it in the middle of the floor versus when you came the second time, it's against the wall. Like there's nobody that walked up there and moved that.
Yeah.
I said, because they're all motion sensitive. They said I would have had them on camera. And they said, and because you get people all the time that ask you about the camera stuff, and then they want copies and stuff, and I'm like, I want that to happen. I'd love to find that, see that thing. I said, it's not there. It's not there. There's nothing I can do about it. I said, but yeah, I said it was in the middle floor, and then it's against the wall. I have no idea how it got there, and that floor is not sloped. I mean, it's not going to roll down there. It's just not going to happen.
I know that the very first time we came out there, we had Chad Lindbergh with us, and he's a good friend as well. And we had Cynthia and you and Chad all had like major like psychological issues, man. And like even Jennifer had an interview on the news about something that we were doing,
like something
local.
something, I don't know, either attached or followed me home, but I had issues after I got back to work on that Monday because I had to do a news interview for my day job. And and I've done tons of interviews, so it's not like stage fright or anything like that. It doesn't bother me. But it's like I had this right as they were cutting back from commercial break to come to my segment. It's just like I couldn't find my words. I just had this heavy, heavy feeling come over me. And just the only thing I could relate it to was having been at Ashmore like 2 days before. And it lasted, maybe 20, 30 seconds and it was gone. And then a couple days later, kind of a similar thing happened when I was at work, just sitting there at my desk. And after that, I can't remember if I smudged. I can't remember what I did. I did something though to kind of cleanse the energy. And after that, I was fine.
Yeah, we've had a lot of situations where people do stuff like that in different places and all. And I'm trying to see if I can find out where that little tricycle, a couple people are asking about the video, trying to see if I can find something. Yep, I found it here.
I think it's on the Nick Groff Tour Facebook page.
I don't know because I updated it. No, I don't know that it is.
Because it just popped up in my memories the other day, not long ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, because we just updated our websites a while back, and I don't know.
On Facebook?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook. I thought you meant the website.
Oh, okay, on his Facebook page.
Something that sticks out to me at Ashmore as well is the last time we were there, one of our guests saw somebody standing out in the back, kind of backyard field area. Is that something that people claim there quite a bit?
Yeah, actually, and I think Jay and Teresa Lynch, and but they were in the event. I had a group come down from Chicago that were mentally challenged, and they were adults. They're just a little bit slow. They were basically the same type, the same people that would have been living at Ashmore, and so they were there, and they came down, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. They all went to bed. And Jay and Teresa were helping them because they never investigated ever. This was kind of a fun thing they came down to do. They had a couple of sponsors with them that came down and helped them out and everything. And so Jay and Teresa Lynch came up and worked with them. And so they all went to bed about 2:00. And the next morning I get there about 7:00, and this group comes out and they're getting ready to head back to Chicago. And they're like, man, about 3:00 this morning, it's like, we heard music and heard kids out back singing. It's like, we got up to find out what it was. And the sponsor said, I heard it too. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so they all went out back, and there was nothing out there. And so they took off Chicago, and Jay and Teresa came in. I was sitting inside, had breakfast. Jay and Teresa came in. It's like, man, that group last night was fun, but I didn't think they'd ever go to bed. I'm like, why? He's like, hell, 3:00 in the morning, they're out back singing and playing music. And all. I'm like, that wasn't them. I said, they got to find out what it was, and you big bad ghost hunters stayed in bed. So, it happens quite a bit out back. But nobody, it's the same thing as doing daytime investigations. Nobody wants to do it because they don't see that on TV.
Right.
Investigating outside, they don't
takes
see that
away
outside.
from the scary factor and whatnot.
Right.
So.
But yeah, we've had a lot of people who've had some experiences outside, wandering around out there. We've had out front, we've had people heard like squeaking sounds. Well, I went out and found out that some old pictures. There's a swing set that used to be out in front of the building. Oh. And the swing set, those old chain swing sets, those things squeaked all the time. You couldn't swing without those things going squeak, 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 squeak back and forth. So I think that's what that was.
You guys have an event coming up here pretty soon with Nick, don't you? Next month.
Yeah,
right?
that's Virginia City.
Yeah, we've got
next
Virginia
month.
City. Then he's doing a kind of a crew thing, a G crew thing up at Bobby Mackey's. So, it's not going to be an investigation. They're just kind of doing a tour, but it's
like
more
a G
of
crew
a
live, a live filming.
Yeah, they're going to have some Bobby Mackey's going to play for them, and it's going to be a good time. We're excited about kind of hanging out for that, and not actually being responsible for investigating and everything. But we just announced, or we're going to announce tonight.
Look, your listeners, your viewers are the first to hear this.
We're going back to Bobby Mackey's, but we're bringing Dustin Parry and Chris Williams.
Yeah.
So that'd be
cool.
fun. Yeah, we did Fairfield County Infirmary, which is a really, really cool place. Adam Kimmel has done a fantastic job with that place, man. I really liked it. And so they went up there and they were great, and the fans loved them, and so we're gonna do some a few more events with those two, and kind of bring in more guests with that. But yeah, their next stop is going to be at Mackey's, so we'll announce details on that. We just have the dates and stuff set up, so we'll be announcing that. If it's too late tonight, probably tomorrow. We've got Alabama Bigfoot Festival this weekend as well. There's the Fairfield County Infirmary Convention that's going on this weekend. We've got Jael and Chris up there. We've got Cliff Barrickman and Charlie Raymond down in Alabama. And then, man, it's almost every weekend through November coming up. So, and then our event, CryptidCon, is coming back up in November. So, that's always a good time. Last year just kind of exploded. We got to get you guys back down. It's really, really, really grown.
We're running out of room. We're going to have to relocate.
This year, last year in this hotel, because there's just not enough space. I mean, it's just, last year was really, really big. Then got Michigan Paracon. We'll see you guys up there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's always, the best out there. And we got Scarefest coming up. I've got the TAPS crew up there, or here in Lexington with Scarefest. Just announced I got the TAPS crew down in Dragon Con, so I'm kind of excited to go back down there. Always a good time, yeah. In July, I've got Jason and Sherry and Cliff in Oregon. So, I mean, we're going to have people all over the country, like I said, from here to November. And then things kind of slow down there in December and January. And
that's Creepy People Management. I don't know if we talked about, I know we talked about the management part of it, but that's our kind of Creepy People Management. So if you see that anywhere, that's us and Jeff Waldridge.
Yeah.
We superimpose right here. Can you do that, Robin? Jeff right here.
Jeff, yeah. I'm surprised he's not standing back in the window waving at us.
Listen, Jennifer thinks there's a Bigfoot on our farm back here.
There is something. I don't know what it is, but it's no creature that I've ever heard before in my life. We've heard it, we're starting to hear it more regularly. The first time was maybe, I don't know, we live on 25 acres of woods. So there's not another house that, that we can see from where we're at. Our whole backyard, I mean, we've got about an acre and a half cleared land, and the rest of it's just woods. But probably about, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I think it was late fall. It wasn't yet winter, but it was still cold outside. And we've got a house cat, an inside cat, and she decided to make a great escape one time. And I kept seeing her on our security camera at night, like she was going back toward the house. So it was about dusk, and Mason and I are in the backyard, and I'm trying to call her in, and I'm meowing. I'm making meow sounds at her because that's how you talk to a cat. And then I can hear her meowing back at me. No, I hear her meowing back at me. So I come into the house and get a jacket on because I'm going to go down to the woods and find her. Well, as I step back out on the back porch, there is this growl, howl. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was very deep and guttural. And we don't have any animals around here that make that kind of noise at that low, that deep growl. So
and I wasn't outside, so it wasn't my stomach. I wasn't
And Mason said he did hear, he thought he heard a tree knock right before that happened, but he and I both heard it. Mm-hmm. And then just within probably the last 3 months, it's kind of started back up. We've had a couple of episodes where we have a lot of coyotes around here, and I like to listen to the coyotes. I think they're creepy, and anytime that they're out, it sounds like there's 500 of them. It's probably 3 in real life. But we had gotten home one night and pulled into the driveway. It was about 9:30 at night. It was dark, and the coyotes are going nuts. So I get out my phone and I'm just filming, just so you can have got the sound. And then as I'm filming, you hear 2, again, that deep, they weren't grunts. They were like growls or roars or something like that. This one hurt at that time. So I've got it on video, and you can hear me say, when it happens, I go, what was that? And I immediately texted Cliff Barrickman. I'm like, I'm going to send you a link to a video. I think I've got something. And it wasn't 5 minutes later. He's like, holy shit, I think you got one. And then maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we got home again. Same thing. Coyotes were going crazy. And they're, this was almost like a howl. Like this wasn't real. It wasn't deep necessarily, but it was like something losing its mind out there. So just a lot of, we got weird noises here.
It's funny though, you know, a lot of people are into all this and, you know, we've been into it for a long time. And if you follow me on any social medias, I'm constantly bragging about my kid. And, like when he was little, so we've had him all over the country with us. When he was little, I can remember specifically having him in Trans-Allegheny, in West Virginia, and we were doing a flashlight tour, and he had his little flashlight, and somehow some little girl was on the tour too, and she come over to the other side of him and was kind of standing next to him, I guess, because she was a little kid. Well, the tour guide was speaking of the spirit of a little girl, and I can remember Mason running looking, and he gave the whole shake, where it scared him so bad. But
she said, I'm not a ghost.
Yeah, she said, I'm not a ghost. But and then he'll from now on, like he celebrated his 16th birthday at Waverly Hills with us. We had an event there.
We're finally cool enough.
Yeah, we're finally cool enough with him to get into this stuff. It's always fun kind of seeing him have these kind of experiences, with him hearing the stuff here, like the house. But something really weird happened. We were out in Nevada and we were driving down the extraterrestrial highway. And we stopped there at the black mailbox and just kind of got out and was, walking around listening and stuff. And it was really cold that night, but Mason didn't want to get out of the Jeep. So we ended up leaving. We're going towards Tonopah. Yeah, Tonopah. And so, there's the little Alien, the little restaurant kind of place. And so we're driving towards that area, and there's still like just desert as far as you can see. I mean, nothing there. And it was pitch, probably 10, 11 o'clock at night. And, you can see all the stars and stuff, but there was this big bright light that kind of hovered off in the distance right above the road. And we thought it was on the road. We thought it was a car coming towards us. We saw a couple of cars, but not many on that whole entire stretch of highway. I'm talking like, 100 miles. Yeah. And so I was waiting, I was driving, and we were waiting for that, to come up on that car. I thought it was headlights on the road, and it never got any closer. And so we were driving, and all of us were talking about it. It was me and Jennifer and Jeff and Mason. And finally that light above the road just kind of blinked and then was gone. But there was no roads going off to the side, right or left. It was just desert. And I looked over at Mason and I said, "Did you see that?" And he was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I don't know." But it's just fun kind of having those experiences with him as well. Sure. And being able to travel and letting him see these places, kind of walk around the Goldfield Hotel. And, it's just always kind of fun to have those experiences with him.
Yeah. And what year would he be this year?
He'll be a junior.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be a junior. He's 16. He's finally driving by himself now, which is funny. He had practice this morning at 6 o'clock, so he left the house at like 5:30, and
we didn't have to get up and take him.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I saw the one video where he dropped you off, Jennifer, and took off on his first maiden voyage by himself.
Yeah.
And all 4 fenders came home?
They did, surprisingly. His car was in better shape than mine that day.
Yeah, we need to make it down to Cryptid Con. We didn't make it. I think last year, wasn't it the same weekend, Robin?
You had,
you
had probably up in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I think it was Grand Rapids Comic Con. Yeah, I think
it was November, I think, last year probably. So, so we were up in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I think the last time I was down there with that, it was the time that like Nick was walking around. Remember, what he doing, like filming like on Facebook Live or something. And remember, he comes over to the table and he's like, "Just get on my back." And I'm like, "Where are we going?" He's like, and then we go out there and he's like, "I want to throw axes with you on my back." Yeah. I'm like, "No." And of course, as you notice, we ended up doing it. I was waiting to have just one of those things going on.
I think that was the same year that you and I tried to eat that gigantic sandwich.
Yeah, it was, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
That was horrible. Like, what were we thinking? Like, it was like, no joke. It was like this big, wasn't it? I mean, it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I was thinking it would be one of those like a big sandwich. It comes out and you're gonna be like this, and hold on. Yeah, and it's just huge.
I remember it, like we were both hungry, and as soon as it came out, you looked at me. You was like, "There's no way I can eat that."
yeah. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Of course, Walter was sitting in the background going, guess I'm going to have some sandwich here.
That's what he's like. He's like, can I have the rest of it for supper?
Yeah, that's what was left of mine. I was just like,
he also ate an English muffin off the floor in the hallway. So
it is Jeff.
He's our special friend. Yeah.
We all have to have one.
We do. Yeah. He's our token.
Mike and I have Crystal.
Yeah.
I tell you, there's not much more fun person to pick on than Crystal. So I get it. I agree.
Yep, you got to do that. I mean, she knows it. Did you guys by chance see the pie video?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, you missed that, huh? So, yeah, Crystal.
Yes, I did too. Yeah, I think so. She was coming in, or you were coming in, or like in the door.
It was the payoff basically at Rhodes, and she yelled, "Hey, don't forget your pie!" And into the face. So so
it's funny.
Yeah. She enjoyed that way too much.
She did. Yeah, she had a ball with that. She had a good time.
I told her this is a one take deal. You're not going to get any out of it. You're not going to get. But we need to do it again. Do it better. And like, no, that's not going to happen. So.
Yep. And I was like, I got to get a good angle on this get the one take, because I knew Robin wouldn't be like, yeah, let's do that one again.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's just do it again. Especially when most of it was frozen to begin with. I was like,
oh no.
So, I think that was Patsy's way of contributing. Let's just freeze that, so that way it's even worse on it. So, like, okay, fine, here we go. That you guys have some. You guys got the events coming up, and I think I've got here the best place people can find stuff for you guys is Nick Groff Tour.
Creepytalent.com. Yeah, creepytalent.com is going to have more. There you go. Yeah.
Right. So, that was my other choice. And I think Nick Groff Tour takes you to that anyway.
Yeah, they're linked together.
Right. Yeah. So, But you go to creepytalent.com.
Nick is just absolutely ridiculously busy right now. He's filming and editing and producing and everything with the new Deathwalker series. And he's the new daddy. So, he's really, really busy. We're going to stop up on the way up to Maine and see him and the new baby and Tessa and just make sure that the baby doesn't look too much like me, but
that way you don't have to explain to do, right?
That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one I want to explain that to, either Jennifer or Lee or Nick. That would be a problem no matter what. So
I'm used to his bad jokes. Don't worry.
At this point in our lives, she just overlooks me just completely. But that's with everything. It's not just the bad jokes.
I see that a lot from Norma too. She's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Just let you do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's probably gonna do it anyway, so I might as well just get over it and be done with it. So. But I was gonna wait for Mike to ask his favorite his favorite questions to you guys.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a few of them now because, like, I did an interview a while back, and then I stole Jenny's question because it was a good question. But I'll ask my question first. If you guys could investigate anywhere in the world, where would you investigate?
Anywhere in the world. Oh gosh, that's a good one. We were in Ireland on our honeymoon, and we weren't into the paranormal at that point. But I think I would what is it? Leap Castle? Is that
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's Leap Castle over there in Ireland. I would love to go over there. I think that would be my top spot.
I would.
Lee can't remember your honeymoon, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So long ago. But, I don't know how, like, as far as investigating or as far as going to have experiences and experiencing the history, I I would love to like go back to the old Colosseum in Rome, or somewhere in Athens, those kind of places. As far as investigating, I would love to go to the Suicide Forest in Japan. I think that would be a really, really cool place.
Yeah.
As far as, going and experiencing the actual feeling of a location, man, I would love to walk around Auschwitz, respectfully, not investigating, but just kind of, there's certain locations that you just have this, like you're almost walking underwater. And the place that I can just immediately think of, here in the States is when I felt that way was in the gas chamber at Missouri State Penitentiary. When you're sitting in that chair, and somebody closes that door, you're just kind of sitting there. Man, it's an odd feeling. I think it was 44 people were put to death in that chamber. It was 44, 42, somewhere around in there. I can't remember. It's just an odd feeling, and I could imagine the heaviness of Auschwitz and how that would feel. I would like to experience that for the feeling. As far as investigating, I think the Suicide Forest in Japan. But as far as like the historical stuff, I think the Colosseum would be really cool, because of this going on there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Here's the other question. This is going to have you thinking for a minute, because I was like, good question. If you could investigate with any 3 people, alive, dead, fictional, who would you pick?
3 people. I would say definitely Ed and Lorraine. Does that count as 2 or does that count as 1?
The Warrens, the Warrens.
That's 2 people. Together. There's Ed, there's Lorraine, but
Yeah, I guess you could kind of count it as 1. I guess maybe.
The Warrens.
Yeah.
Gosh, who else? Jeez. I don't know.
I think I'm going to go with Stormy Daniels, Bridget Marquardt, and Kesha, whatever her name is.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. That looks like the stupidest. Oh my God, it looks stupid.
No, I'm only joking. I'm sure they're all fine girls and investigators, but I would have to definitely stick with Ed.
Have you seen the trailer for that Kesha show?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God! Like Discovery, they're on the verge of jumping the shark.
It's
It looks really bad.
Yeah, it's hard to look at. But Ed and Lorraine and I guess Hans Holzer. I would like to kind of be around that area. But man, honestly, we've been so fortunate.
I got one.
I'm talking. I've investigated with almost everybody out there, and so.
Mm-hmm.
I love investigating with Nick. Nick's great. I call him a ghost magnet because man, he gets all this crazy activity with him all the time. Dave Schrader is a great investigator. Dustin Pari.
Got any fictional ones that you'd pick?
Fictional. That's a good one.
I want to investigate with Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
I think I'm fascinated by him. Just can you imagine like the knowledge that's in his brain if he focused on paranormal communications? Like what could he come up with?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe gosh, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe Zelda, maybe Zelda Rubinstein. Who?
Mystery Inc.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, hey, that's a good one. Mike Tyson.
Well, that's kind of fictional, I guess. So
yeah, but he's I met Mike Tyson once, and I kind of fangirled over him, and I didn't really know what to say, and I went up and I was like, "Man, I love you." That's all that came out. Like I didn't know what else to say. I was like, I was shaking his hand. I was like, man, this right hand has knocked out so many people. I was like, man, I love you. He goes, thanks.
Yeah.
I was waiting on you to say he was like, stop touching me.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he didn't whip my ass like he did that guy on the airplane the other day. It was just I don't know. He was because I love fighting. You all know that. I mean, UFC, boxing, everything. I love it. And, I was so pumped up to meet Mike Tyson, and nothing would come out. Like, I was just like, I love you.
Into the fanboy type stuff, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'd take a bullet for you.
Stick around. That might happen. So.
No kidding. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Somebody that would be cool to investigate, not necessarily ghost with, but other things would be, Dan Aykroyd. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy. Yeah, he's a pretty knowledgeable guy.
Right.
Especially with the UFOs and aliens. And apparently his father was like really, really big into it and researching.
You mentioned the two girls, with Bridget and everything. I was actually contacted, it's been months ago, about Jenny McCarthy was going to be doing possibly a show with Jack Osborne. And they want to know about coming to Ashmore. And because she's in Chicago and they wanted someplace close. Yeah. I thought, and I think that would be so much fun to have Jenny McCarthy come down. And I wouldn't even think about Playboy. I was thinking about like Jenny McCarthy's show because she's so funny sometimes.
I was thinking about Johnny Wahlberg.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah. So, but yeah.
Are we talking Jenny McCarthy now or Jenny McCarthy 1998?
Well, Jenny McCarthy now. I don't think we could backdate her and fly her in, but yeah, I guess her and Jack were supposedly going to be doing some type of show, but I don't think that ever happened.
And I mean, he's doing that show now where it's kind of like he's bringing in a bunch of different celebrities. And I know Jason Mewes is going on one with him for a Bigfoot hunt. And, those shows are kind of gimmicky. Jack does a good job with Katrina. I love Katrina and she's great. And she's a very good investigator. I enjoy that show, Portals to Hell. But the other stuff that Jack's doing is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know that he really loves it, he takes it serious, but when you start bringing in a bunch of celebrities just to try to, have them kind of act like they, walking around with a K2 meter and not really knowing what to do. I'm not into that too much.
It's more for ratings than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess as an investigator, you have to look at those shows as their entertainment.
Right.
That's all they are.
That's what it is. Yeah. And, they do get to go to some cool places. I used to love the show. One of my favorite shows, a couple of my favorite shows were Ben Hanson's Fact or Fake. Man, I loved that show. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved Finding Bigfoot because, man, those guys got to go to so many cool places that I'd never get to go to. And then Ghost Hunters International, I loved, seeing where those guys would go on investigations. And it was funny when we were up in Fairfield, Chris and Dustin, they did that show together and they were talking about some of the stories and one of Dustin's stories were that they had to crawl through shoulder deep water and the guides went through a cave. And so the guides were like, make sure you stay above that, don't let the water go in because there's things that will crawl in your pee hole. And he was like, I don't want to do it, and like they were talking about having to use the bathroom in a baggie and taking it in and taking it out with you. And it's those guys have some good stories, but man, Ghost Hunters International did see some cool places. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
Well, it's about time to get out of here. So let you guys get back to it. So, but yeah, like we kind of showed everybody, you can, check out what they've got going on there at the creepytalent.com, and they've got a lot of events. In fact, I was kind of cruising through your website here. You guys got a ton of events coming up with the, and you guys go to most of these yourselves, don't you?
Yeah, we try to. We're not going to be able to make it to the ones this weekend, but I just think that's respectful to our clients. That way, if they need something, we're right there with them.
Right.
So I do prefer to go to the events and. And like I said, I get to see a lot of cool places. And so, that's kind of what I'm into. I love the history and stuff like that, and then the paranormal experiences is just a bonus.
Yep. But yeah, if you're looking for some talent to come to some event, something like that, there's a ton of it listed there. All living talent and one with 4 wheels. So.
And that's one of our favorites. Even though, I've never got my picture taken inside of that van.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, and it's not like you haven't been around it.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I'm always too busy. I never have time to do anything.
Yeah.
Y'all see how I'm
Exactly.
running around. You know, I found a picture just the other day of Malcolm McDowell standing with it from Scare,
Right.
like it's
Yep.
a professional picture. I don't know if
Yeah,
you have
well,
that one. I can get it to you.
I took one of him at Scarefest.
Yeah, this was many, many years ago. This was when we were kind of running that show with Jeff.
But I think the funniest one I found is that, and these guys aren't clients of yours, I don't think yet, but I was up at Minnesota last year, and I was talking to Dakota during the early evening hours, and he's like, I was talking to him, and he's like, hey, did you notice that the Mystery Machine's here? I'm like, yeah, I saw that, and he's like, man, that's cool. He's like, I'm hoping we get a picture done with it. I said, that'll probably happen, and he's like, it would be awesome if the three of us could get in it. I'm like, Dakota, that could happen. He's like, oh, you think so? I'm like, I own it. He's like, oh God, so he's like, oh great. So yeah, and then we were up at Fort Wayne, and they had to have pictures done up there because Chelsea was with them then, so we had to get some shots. That's why we had Joe Chin on the front of it, like he just got ran over by the Destination Fear cast running over Joe Chin from Ghost Hunters International.
That's not a bit random at all, is it?
Yeah, no. So, yeah,
there was a three-legged Scooby-Doo that weekend too.
That's right. Yeah.
Robin got me in the costume for a little bit.
Oh no! Wait! That wasn't a matter of me getting you in. You were begging to get in that costume.
I wasn't begging because I knew that thing was like about 150 degrees to wear, but I was like, I'll wear it for a little bit. But I was like, somebody's gonna hold me up. So I was leaning against the van, like Dakota was over on one side, and somebody was on the other side. One of the guys was on the other side. It's like, just hold me up, don't let me fall.
For all of our Bigfoot events, I've got a friend, and he's a gigantic man. I mean, you all have seen him walking around in the Bigfoot. But when we were at Wildman Days, it was 100 degrees outside, and Big Wes, he's 6'5", 340 pounds of solid muscle, and he's waddling around. And he takes that Bigfoot costume off, and I was like, oh, it's so like it was dripping out of it. And I was like, oh, dude. He's like, you're gonna have to get this dry cleaned. Like, oh.
Yeah, I had mine dry cleaned, my Scooby-Doo costume dry cleaned before, and they tore up the head on one of them, so I had to get a new head, and so I had to buy another one. But, oh well. So, but yeah, everybody check out their website, creepytalent.com. All their events are on there. So if you're looking for events to go to, there's a ton of them on there. And
we promote every event that our guys are going to on social medias. So yeah, you can check out Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. All of our events and everything are on those.
Is it pretty much Creepy Talent on all those as well?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Thank you guys.
I really appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having. We love you guys. You guys are family to us. Anytime.
Yeah, we appreciate it. But it's been fun.
It's been a while.
And we had people even sit there and said that, where is it? Yep. So,
Thank you.
They said it was awesome. So looking forward to it. But it's been a good time. So hopefully we'll see you guys. If nothing else, I guess it would probably be August. We'll see you guys up in Michigan.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So, alrighty. You guys have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right.
Thanks,
all right. Take care. Talk to you later.
Guys.
Night.
See ya.
All right. Yeah, it's fun. Those guys they're great people. Love to have them around and join us on different events and all. Or they let us come to the Nick Groff events and doing some things there. So, but yeah, that's cool. And who do we have on next week?
Nick Groff.
Oh. Yep. Nick Groff will be on next week, following up with from these guys for the Nick Groff Tour. We'll have Nick Groff on. So I'm sure there'll be a couple of people I know drooling right now, thinking that, oh my God, Nick Groff's going to be on. So so you'll have to tune in next week for Nick Groff will be with us here. And
took a little bit of working to work him in to get him on to do that, because I tried to get him a little while back, and he was busy because he was filming and stuff, but. We got to squeeze him in for next week, though.
That's cool. So that'll be a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, we'll see everybody here next week on LLF Radio.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in tonight, guys.
Yeah, check out the YouTube page and LLF Radio on YouTube. So Have a good evening, everybody.
All right, guys.
My name is Mike, and I'm the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. The Lost Limbs Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides assistance to amputee children in need of prosthetics. I started the charity after my own struggles after my leg being amputated just above the knee. Prosthetics cost thousands of dollars, and the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years on a prosthetic. Kids are constantly growing, so they'll go through multiple prosthetics throughout their life. This is the prosthetic leg that I use, and the cost was about $70,000. The Rhodes Hotel is in Atlanta, Indiana, and is owned and operated by the Lost Limbs Foundation. We are currently doing photo shoots, ghost hunts, and special events to help raise money for the charity. For more information, you can go to lostlimbsfoundation.org. With your help, we can help these kids one step at a time.